How's it going, guys? And welcome here to Barca Verdi, and I hope you're all doing well after Barcelona disappoint in yet another big game on the big stage. But in today's video, we're going to be doing a player rating from yesterday's match. Who had a good performance? Who stood out to you? And who had a bad performance? We're going to be talking about it in full length and in full detail. So let's get started. And if we do get started with the man in goal, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, who has been criticized a lot this season for not performing on the big stage, on the big games, and of course, the comebacks and the humiliations Barcelona have had in the Champions League. He was in net for all of those. So you would expect him to be criticized. But Ter Stegen yesterday, he looked a lot more confident, he looked a lot more fit. He was just happy yesterday and he was a lot more focused. And for Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, he makes a plenty of crucial saves, and it could have been a loss for Barcelona without Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, and that is why I'm going for a 7.5 out of 10 for Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. And let's hope we can see more of this from Ter Stegen on the big stage. But then we do move on to the three-man defense, and we do start with Gerard Piqué. And now I thought Gerard Piqué didn't do anything wrong, but he wasn't at his best yesterday. He needs some rest. After he returned from his injury, he has been playing too much. And for PK, it's a 6 out of 10. He just needs some rest. He didn't look 100% fit. He needs to get into the rhythm of the game. He's playing way too much. But then we do move on to Kalama Langley, who actually had a decent game yesterday, but again, he didn't really have to do much. He got that crucial block from a Laurenti shot, and it could have went into the Ter Stegen's net unless Langley came in. And for Langley, again, it's another 6 out of 10. He didn't have to do too much, but when he needed to do something, he did it perfectly. And I thought he was so crucial in our build-up play. But then, we do move on to the last defender of the three, Oscar Mingueza. Now, Oscar Mingueza, it was a surprise to see him in the starting lineup. It really was a surprise. I thought Ronald Koeman would understand that in this type of game, we need someone like Ronald Araujo, not only for his defensive abilities, but also for his set-piece scoring awareness. And for Oscar Mingueza, this could be a little bit harsh on him, but it's a 5.5 out of 10. I thought he didn't keep Lamar quiet on that left hand side. He didn't keep Yanni Carrasco quiet on that left hand side. And I thought Ronald Koeman made the right decision as subbing him out at halftime. But this is not attacking a young player. Because, after all, this guy is a 21-year-old who has been having a great season, and he will have to keep on learning in these big games. But then we do move on to the fullbacks, and one of the two, we do start with the American man, Serginho Dest. Now this is another young player who hasn't performed on the big stage, who doesn't have the experience. And Serginho Dest, yesterday, he didn't help us defensively, neither did he help us offensively. And I don't really know what to say about Serginho Dest. I really wanted Serginho Dest to start this game, and I was scared that Ronald Koeman would opt for Sergio Roberto for Serginho Dest. But Ronald Koeman was brave, and he sticked with Serginho Dest. And there were reports that Serginho Dest had some discomfort. But yesterday, Serginho Dest didn't look at his best. He wasn't good in attacking wise. All that danger was from that left hand side. No threat whatsoever from the right hand side. And the defensive, Ronaldo Araujo and Oscar Mingueza had to defend by themselves. And that is why. Maybe again, this is a bit harsh, but that's what I just think. For Serginho Dest, it's a 5.5 out of 10. But then, we do move on to the other fullback, and it is an experienced fullback, Jordi Alba. And Jordi Alba, it's straight up a 7 out of 10. He was very, very good in yesterday's game. All that danger was coming from that left hand side. And Atletico Madrid, it looked like they were trying to stop Messi combining with Alba because that would have caused them real problems. And Atletico Madrid, they were focusing on our left hand side because they know the threat of Jordi Alba. And he did create so many chances, but there was just no one to tap it in. Antoine Griezmann wasn't positioned very well, and Jordi Alba, he was getting all those crosses in. And let's not forget, he also did good defensively, and he created a huge chance for Ousmane Dembele. But then, we do move on to the three-man midfield, and we start with the maestro, Sergio Busquets. Now, Sergio Busquets, he didn't play much, so I didn't really know what to give him as a player rating. For Busquets, he got a face injury and he was bleeding, and we hope Busquets has a speedy recovery. But for Busquets, I'm going for a 6.5 out of 10. Now you might ask yourself, why is he going for a 6.5 out of 10? Busquets barely had any time to play, and the reason I'm going for a 6.5 out of 10 is because right when Busquets stepped out of that midfield, we lost all the control that we had. We lost every single thing in that midfield. Maybe Ronald Koeman should have subbed on Ricky Puig for some energy, or Sergio Roberto in that midfield for some experience. But right when Busquets came out of that midfield, we lost everything. We lost all the control, we lost all the tackles, we lost everything he brings us. Of course, we hope Sergio Busquets has a speedy recovery out of a massive game in La Liga. But then, we do move on to Frankie de Jong, who did fill that holding role you feel after Busquets came out. And for Frankie de Jong, it's a 6 out of 10. Simply because you saw in the last game how Frankie de Jong was making those runs into the box and being such a huge threat. But in this game, Frankie de Jong, he did his job defensively. He did his job by doing very, very good passes. But Frankie de Jong, he needs to get into the box like he did in recent games. Maybe it's because Ronald Koeman told him to play in that holding role, but that was a huge, huge mistake from Ronald Koeman. And Frankie de Jong, he would have been a huge, huge threat, and you could have got a goal if he was attacking more. But then we do move on to a similar performance, and it's an 18-year-old who has made his 50th appearance for Barcelona, which is insane. And congratulations to Pedri. But this man does need some rest, and Ronald Koeman keeps on playing him. He cannot play one game without him, and because it's simply because he is a great, great player. And Pedri yesterday, it was a similar performance to Frankie de Jong. It's a 6 out of 10. He needs to do more in attack. He was very, very good defensively, but he needs to do more in attack. And Pedri's huge problem is not shooting in the 18-yard box. He doesn't shoot when he has a clear chance. It looks like he's just a young player that doesn't want to shoot. I don't know if it's confidence. I am sure it's not confidence, but he just needs some experience. He needs to be more composed in front of goal, and he needs to take on those shots. But then, we do move on to one of the two attackers, and we start with Messi. Because this game was the type of game that you were saying in your mind, it's either Messi or we lose, or we drop points. Messi or Atletico Madrid have taken points from us. Because Messi in this game, we relied heavily on him. We really, really did. And I'm going for a 7 out of 10. All the threat was coming from Messi. He was fouled 9 times by Atletico Madrid. That is a huge amount of fouls just on one player. And Messi, he was growing in frustration, and he did his job. He made that run. It was a close, close goal from Messi, but it was a Jan Oblak save. And Messi, I thought he did his job on his night, and that is it for Messi. But then, we do move on to the second attacker, and this is going to have mixed opinions. It is Antoine Griezmann. And for Griezmann, I am going for a 6 out of 10. I was gonna go for a 5.5 out of 10 because Griezmann really didn't offer us anything in attack. We were hoping he could continue his fine form. Yes, I know it's not his fault because we didn't score. No one scored after all. But for Griezmann, Serginho Dest was firing in some crosses. Jordi Alba was firing some crosses. Messi, all of those players were putting the cross into the box, and we didn't have a presence in that box and a true number 9. And Griezmann, he was supposed to fill that role. Not necessarily the number 9, but at least to be in the box. To be in the box to get those tap ins, to get those goals, and to get those headers. But Griezmann, he didn't do that, and it was a huge mistake from Griezmann. I thought his positioning was awful in this game. But then, that isn't it, because I want to give a shout out to Ronaldo Araujo because he is a player that stood out to me. What a second half. 45 minutes played, 5 recoveries, 4 duels won, 21 successful passes, and 87.5% of successful passes. And for Ronaldo Araujo, this was a game that he needed to play, and he did get that offside goal. And I thought I would just give a shout out to Ronaldo Araujo because he is a player that really stood out to me. Well, guys, of course, we can still win La Liga, but it is looking less likely that we can win La Liga. But what I'm gonna say is, let's just keep fighting. Let's just give it our all in these final 3 games. There's no more time to think about this Atletico Madrid game. There is no more time. The schedule is crazy, these players have no time to rest, and we have a huge game coming up at the Camp Nou versus Levante, and I will see you for all the build up for that. And if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next video.